Have you ever felt like you were your parents' favorite? Or maybe you felt the sting of not being the favorite? Our story today begins in the sun-drenched fields near Hebron, a long, long time ago. Imagine vast, green pastures stretching out as far as the eye can see under a brilliant blue sky. Hundreds of fluffy sheep are grazing peacefully, their gentle bleats filling the air. Watching over them is an old man named Jacob. He has a long, flowing gray beard and a kind, serene look on his face. He's seen many seasons come and go, and there's a quiet wisdom about him. Suddenly, a burst of energy shatters the calm. A young man, just 17 years old, comes running towards Jacob. This is Joseph. He's full of life, with bright, intelligent eyes and a smile that could light up the entire field. He's not out of breath, just exhilarated. "Father," he calls out, "I've rounded up the stragglers from the North Ridge." Jacob's face breaks into a warm, proud smile. He looks at his son with an affection that runs deeper than the wells they drink from. "You have a good eye, Joseph," he says, his voice filled with love. "You remind me so much of your mother, Rachel." For Jacob, Joseph was more than just a son. He was the son of his old age, born from the wife he loved most dearly, Rachel, who was no longer with him. In Joseph, Jacob saw a reflection of his lost love, and his heart overflowed with a special tenderness for this boy. He beckoned Joseph closer, gesturing towards a beautiful, ornate wooden chest. It was the kind of chest you'd expect to hold treasure, intricately carved and polished to a shine. With a sense of ceremony, Jacob unlatched it and lifted the heavy lid. Joseph's eyes widened. Inside, nestled on a bed of soft cloth, lay a coat. But this was no ordinary shepherd's tunic. It was a masterpiece, a tapestry of the most vibrant colors imaginable. There were stripes of deep sapphire blue, like the midnight sky, rich royal purple that shimmered in the light, and threads of pure gold woven throughout, catching the sun like tiny stars. It was a garment fit for a prince, a symbol of honor and distinction. It was clear that this coat was incredibly expensive and exceptionally special. "I had this made for you," Jacob said softly. Joseph gasped, completely speechless for a moment. He reached out and touched the fabric. It was softer and more luxurious than anything he had ever felt. Carefully, he lifted the coat from the chest. It was heavy with the weight of its fine threads and the love that went into its making. Jacob helped him put it on. It was a perfect fit, as if it had been woven just for him. Joseph couldn't help but twirl around, a whirlwind of color flashing brilliantly in the sunlight. The blues, purples, and golds danced together, making him look like a living rainbow against the green fields. It's beautiful, Father," he exclaimed, his voice filled with pure joy and gratitude. "Thank you." He felt like the most special person in the world, wrapped in this incredible gift from the father he adored. But not everyone was celebrating. In the distance, gathered by an old stone well, stood Joseph's 10 older brothers. They were a stark contrast to the brightly clad Joseph. They were rough, sun-beaten men, their hands calloused from hard labor. Their tunics were plain, practical, and faded to a drab brown. As the camera zooms in, you see their faces, and they are masks of pure, unadulterated jealousy. There's Reuben, the eldest, looking torn and conflicted. There's Simeon, scowling with a bitter twist to his lips. And Judah, watching his younger brother with a sharp, calculating intensity. They watched Joseph twirl in his magnificent coat, and the sight was like poison to their souls. They saw the coat not as a gift of love, but as a declaration that Joseph was better than them, more loved, more important. The unfairness of it all churned in their stomachs. They were the ones who did the bulk of the heavy lifting, who braved the elements day in and day out, yet they received no such favor. Simeon couldn't hold back his contempt. He scoffed, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "The favorite," he sneered to the others. he does half the work and gets a king's robe. His words hung in the air, thick with resentment. Another brother, Levi, nudged Simeon, a sly, bitter look on his face. He leaned in conspiratorially. And wait till you hear what the dreamer dreamed last night. Ah, yes, the dreams. This wasn't just about the coat. Joseph had a habit of having vivid, symbolic dreams, and he wasn't shy about sharing them. Recently, he had told them of a dream where they were all binding sheaves of wheat in the field, and suddenly his sheaf stood upright while their sheaves all bowed down to it, as if that wasn't enough. He'd had another dream where the sun, the moon, and 11 stars were all bowing down to him. To the brothers, these weren't just innocent dreams, they were arrogant predictions. Joseph, their little brother, was suggesting that one day he would rule over them, that their entire family, including their father and mother, would bow before him. It was the ultimate insult. They already felt overlooked and unappreciated. And now, their younger brother was parading around in a coat of many colors, dreaming of his own supremacy. The jealousy that had been simmering for years was now boiling over into pure hatred. This coat, this beautiful, vibrant coat, became the symbol of everything they despised. It wasn't just a piece of clothing. It was a constant visual reminder of their father's favoritism and their brother's perceived arrogance. And as they stood there, watching Joseph bask in their father's affection, a dark and dangerous seed of a thought began to take root in their hearts. A thought that would change all of their lives forever. What do you think will happen next? The story of Joseph is one of the most dramatic and powerful tales of jealousy, betrayal, and ultimate forgiveness. Stick with us as we dive deeper into this incredible journey. Thanks for watching. And if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next part of this epic saga. See you in the next video. Welcome back to our journey through one of the most powerful stories ever told. Today, we meet a young man whose life is about to change forever. He's a patriarch, a leader, but his eyes soften when he sees his 17-year-old son, Joseph, running towards him, full of life and energy. "Father, I've rounded up the stragglers from the North Ridge," Joseph calls out, his voice bright. Jacob smiles warmly. "You have a good eye, Joseph," he says. "You remind me so much of your mother, Rachel." In that moment, the bond between them is clear. Jacob, who is also called Israel, loves all his sons. But Joseph, the son of his old age and his beloved wife Rachel, holds a unique place in his heart. To show this special affection, Jacob has a gift. He leads Joseph to an ornate chest and opens it, revealing a coat unlike any other. This isn't just a simple tunic, it's a masterpiece, a tapestry of vibrant colors, deep blues, rich purples, and shimmering threads of gold. It's a coat fit for a prince, a symbol of honor and favor. Joseph gasps as his father drapes it over his shoulders. Fits perfectly, he twirls, and the colors flash brilliantly in the sunlight. "It's beautiful, Father." "Thank you," he exclaims, his heart swelling with gratitude. But this beautiful moment casts a dark shadow. In the distance, by a stone well, stand Joseph's 10 older brothers. We see their faces: Reuben, the eldest, looking torn; Simeon, scowling with contempt; and Judah, watching with a cold, intense gaze. They are rugged, hard-working men, clad in simple, drab tunics. As they watch their younger brother flaunt his magnificent gift, their faces become masks of pure, unfiltered jealousy. The favorite, Simeon, scoffs. He does half the work and gets a king's robe. Another brother, Levi, nudges him. "Wait till you hear what the dreamer dreamed last night." The nickname is not a compliment, it's laced with mockery. The seeds of resentment have been sown, and they are about to sprout in the most dangerous way. That night, the family gathers around a crackling campfire. The air is cool, and the stars are out, but a different kind of chill is settling among the brothers. Joseph, still wrapped in his glorious new coat, is buzzing with excitement. He doesn't notice the cold stares or the tense silence. He just has to share the incredible dream he had. "Brothers, I had the most amazing dream," begins, his voice full of youthful wonder. "We were all in the field, binding sheaves of grain." As he speaks, we can almost see the dream unfold. He describes how his sheaf of grain suddenly stood upright, tall and strong. And then he continues, his eyes wide. "All of your sheaves, all 11 of them, gathered around and bowed down to mine. Brothers, stop eating." The sound of chewing ceases. The only sound is the crackling of the fire. Reuben, the eldest, sighs and puts his head in his hands, as if he knows this will not end well. Simeon's face darkens with fury. His voice drips with sarcasm as he asks, "Bow down. Are you saying you think you will actually reign over us? That you will be our king?" Joseph, completely missing the rage in his brother's voice, is too caught up in his own story. But wait, there's more. "I had another one," he says, his excitement building. "This time, I dreamed the sun, the moon, and 11 stars were all bowing down to me. That's it. That's the final straw." This dream is even more audacious. The sun and moon, clearly representing their father and mother, and the 11 stars, them, his brothers. The implication is staggering. It's one thing to dream of being the leader of his siblings, but to suggest that even his parents would bow to him. This is seen as the ultimate display of arrogance. The brothers can't take it anymore. They stand up, their faces twisted with anger. Judah, whose voice is usually measured, now speaks with a low, dangerous tone. "First our sheaves, now the stars. You think even father and mother will bow to you? Keep your arrogant dreams to yourself, boy." For the first time, Joseph's smile falters. The excitement drains from his face, replaced by confusion. He looks from one angry brother to the next, finally sensing the hostility he had been blind to. He instinctively pulls his colorful coat tighter around himself, as if the garment could protect him from their hatred. One by one, the brothers turn their backs on him and walk away into the darkness, leaving Joseph alone by the flickering fire. They didn't just resent him for his coat, okay? And they didn't just dismiss his dreams as childish fantasies, okay? They hated him for them. This wasn't just sibling rivalry anymore, okay? It had become a deep, festering hatred that would soon drive them to do the unthinkable. The stage was set for a betrayal that would tear their family apart and send Joseph on a journey he could never have imagined, not even in his wildest dreams. What will this hatred lead to? Where will Joseph's journey take him? The story is just getting started. Make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on, because you won't want to miss the next chapter. Thanks for watching.
In the last video, we left Joseph, betrayed and alone, being sold to a caravan of Ishmaelites heading for Egypt. But the story of his brothers, the masterminds behind this cruel act, was far from over. They had gotten rid of their brother, but they still had to face their father, Jacob. How could they explain Joseph's disappearance? Their jealousy had driven them to commit a terrible crime, and now they needed a terrible lie to cover it up. They couldn't just return home and say, "Oh, Joseph's gone." No, they had to craft a story, a deception so convincing it would shatter their father's world, but protect their own dark secret. And so, with cold calculation, they prepared their alibi. They took Joseph's beautiful, multicolored coat, the very symbol of his father's favor and their own envy, and they tore it. But that wasn't enough. A torn coat could mean anything. They needed something more visceral, more undeniable. They slaughtered a young goat and smeared its blood all over the vibrant fabric, staining the colors with a lie that would stain their family for decades to come. As night fell over the vast, quiet landscape, the brothers made their way back to their father's camp. The air was heavy, not just with the chill of the evening, but with the weight of their deceit. Judah, who had been the one to suggest selling Joseph instead of killing him, now took the lead in this next stage of their betrayal. He clutched the blood-soaked coat in his hand, a prop in the tragic play they were about to perform. Jacob was likely waiting, perhaps anxiously pacing, wondering why his son. Their faces were set like stone, masks of feigned sorrow hiding the truth of their actions. There was an immediate sense of wrongness, a void where Joseph should have been. Jacob's heart must have started pounding in his chest, a dreadful premonition taking hold. He saw his sons, but his eyes scanned the darkness behind them, searching for the one who was missing. Judah stepped forward. His voice was thick, practiced, heavy with a false grief that was an insult to real sorrow. "Father," he began, his voice cracking on cue, "we found this." He held out the tattered, blood-stained coat. The moment Jacob saw it, his world stopped. That coat was unmistakable. It was the special gift he had made for his favorite son, a testament to his deep love for Joseph. His eyes went wide with horror. He snatched the garment. He brought it close. The truth, or what he believed to be the truth, crashed down on him with the force of a physical blow. "It is Joseph's coat," he whispered, his voice a low, agonized breath, the sound of a heart breaking. It was a statement of fact, but also an admission of his worst fear becoming reality. The strength, his legs buckled beneath him, and he collapsed to the dusty ground, a broken old man. He clutched the coat to his chest, as if it were the last remnant of his son. And then, a sound. It was the cry of a father who believes his child has been violently ripped from the world. A wild animal. He screamed, his voice choked with tears. "A wild animal has devoured him. My son Joseph is torn to pieces." He rocked back and forth, the bloody coat his only comfort, his body racked with inconsolable sobs. He had experienced loss before, but this was different. This was a violent, brutal end for the son of his old age, the child of his beloved Rachel. The imagery his mind conjured was too horrific to bear. And all the while, his other sons stood over him. They watched their father's complete and utter devastation. They saw the pain they had inflicted, the agony their lie had caused. But their faces remained unreadable, their expressions hard and emotionless. They had to maintain the facade. Any crack, any flicker of guilt could expose them. So they stood like statues of grief, performing their roles as mourning brothers, while inside they were prisoners of their own secret. They had traded their brother's life for 20 pieces of silver, a pitiful sum for a human soul. And now they had traded their father's joy for a lie. The camp, which had once been filled with life, was now shrouded in a palpable darkness, a sorrow so deep it felt like a physical presence. Jacob would refuse to be comforted, tearing his own clothes and wearing sackcloth as a sign of his unending mourning. He was convinced he would carry this grief to his grave, never knowing that the son he mourned was alive. A slave in a foreign land, his journey just beginning. This moment is one of the most heartbreaking in the entire story. It's a stark reminder of the cascading consequences of sin. Jealousy led to betrayal. Betrayal led to a lie, and that lie plunged an entire family into decades of sorrow and dysfunction. The brothers thought they had solved their problem by getting rid of Joseph. But in reality, they had only created a bigger one. They had severed a branch from their family tree and poisoned the roots with their deception. They would have to live with the guilt, seeing the constant reminder of their crime and their father's grieving face every single day. Jacob, in his profound sorrow, was blind to the truth that was standing right in front of him. This act of deceit set the stage for the next 20 years of their lives. It created a wound that would fester, shaping the family's dynamics and setting in motion the very events that would one day force them to confront the brother they had so cruelly wronged. The lie was told, the trap was set, and now they all had to live in it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow our channel as we continue to explore this incredible story.
As the brothers sat down to eat, their meal overshadowed by the grim task ahead, Judah suddenly looked up, his eyes fixed on the horizon. A long line of figures was approaching a caravan. Camels laden with goods, merchants in flowing robes, and armed guards. They were Ishmaelites on the well-trodden trade route to Egypt. An idea, a terrible and brilliant alternative, began to form in Judah's mind. He turned to his brothers, a new light in his eyes. What do we really gain if we kill our brother and just cover up his blood? He'll be gone, but the guilt will stay with us forever. The others listened, their own unease palpable. Judah pressed on, his voice low and persuasive. He's still our brother, our own flesh and blood. Let's not lay a hand on him. Instead, let's sell him to these Ishmaelites. That way, we get rid of him. We don't have his death on our hands, and we even make a profit from it. The idea settled among them. It was a perfect, cold-hearted solution. It solved their problem without the finality of murder. Relief, dark and unsettling, washed over them. Quickly, they went to the pit. They hauled a terrified, dust-covered Joseph out into the harsh sunlight. His face was streaked with tears and dirt, his eyes wide with a desperate, fleeting hope that they had changed their minds. They dragged him over to the merchants, who eyed the boy with a professional, detached curiosity. A brief, heartless negotiation began. 20 pieces of silver, one of the lead merchants declared, his voice final. For the boy, it was a deal. A small pouch of coins was tossed to Judah, the silver clinking with a sound of finality. The brothers took the money, their hands closing around the price of their own brother's freedom. The merchants were efficient. They grabbed Joseph, roughly tying his hands with a coarse rope. Joseph stumbled, his head snapping up to look at his brothers. He searched their faces, one by one, for any sign of regret, any flicker of love. He found nothing. They wouldn't even meet his gaze. They turned away, busying themselves with the silver coins. Their backs turned on him completely. A single, choked whisper escaped his lips. No, ... It was a plea that went unheard. The rope pulled tight, and the merchants led him away, forcing him into the line of slaves and goods destined for Egypt. He was just another piece of cargo. We watch his face, a mask of utter disbelief and shattering heartbreak, as he's pulled further and further away. Each step took him away from his home, from his father, from everything he had ever known. Bound in chains, a slave sold by his own family, Joseph was on his way to Egypt. He didn't know it then, but it would be a very, very long time before he saw the hills of Canaan again. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next video.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our story series. Today, we dive into a moment that changes everything. A scene of shocking betrayal that sets the stage for an incredible journey. Imagine this. A young man named Joseph has been searching for his older brothers for days. He's walking under the hot sun, his heart full of excitement. He finally spots them in the distance, tending their flocks near a place called Dothan. He smiles, waves, and calls out, "Brothers, I finally found you." Father sends his greetings. He's carrying food and water for them, a gesture of care from their father Jacob. But the welcome he expects is not the welcome he receives. Before he can even finish his sentence, two of his brothers, Simeon and Levi, lunge at him. Their faces are hard, their eyes cold. Joseph's smile vanishes, replaced by pure terror. "What are you doing?" he shouts, struggling against their strong grip. "Stop, let me go." But his pleas are useless. They are relentless. They grab his beautiful, multicolored coat, the very symbol of their father's favor and their own jealousy, and rip it from his back. The vibrant fabric is torn away, leaving him exposed and vulnerable. They drag him, kicking and screaming, towards a dark, gaping hole in the ground, an empty cistern. Joseph is desperate, his voice cracking with fear and confusion. He calls out to his other brothers, hoping for a flicker of compassion. "Reuben, Judah, please, what did I do wrong?" He can't understand the hatred in their eyes. Why are they doing this? He's their brother. But his cries fall on deaf ears. They look at him with contempt, ignoring his pleas for mercy. Without a moment's hesitation, they shove him over the edge. For a heart-stopping second, all he sees is the sky before he plunges into the darkness. He hits the dusty bottom with a heavy thud. Shaken and bruised, he looks up. The opening of the pit is just a small circle of bright blue sky, and silhouetted against it are the dark figures of his 10 brothers, looking down at him like vultures. Then, one by one, they turn and walk away. A chilling sense of abandonment washes over him. "Please." His voice echoes from the depths of the pit, filled with desperation. "Don't leave me here." But there is no answer. A short distance away, the brothers sit down on the grass. And in the ultimate act of cruelty, they unwrap the bread and provisions that Joseph had brought for them, and begin to eat, their conversation casual, as if nothing has happened. Joseph is left alone in the dark, betrayed and abandoned by his own family. What an incredibly powerful and heartbreaking moment. This is just the beginning of Joseph's journey. What do you think will happen next? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next part of the story. See you soon. Can you imagine the feeling? Walking for days under a scorching sun, your heart filled with joy and anticipation. You're bringing food and water to your family, your own brothers. You've missed them. You finally spot them in the distance, a wave of relief washing over you. This was Joseph. He called out to them, his smile as bright as the coat of many colors his father had gifted him, a symbol of profound love. "Brothers, I finally found you." Father sends his, but his words were cut short. The love in his eyes was met with a cold, hard glare. Before Joseph could even process what was happening, two of his older brothers, Simeon and Levi, lunged at him. Their hands were not gentle, not the hands of family. They were rough, violent. The smile on Joseph's face vanished, replaced by a mask of pure terror and confusion. "What are you doing? Stop, let me go." He screamed, his voice cracking with fear. But his pleas fell on deaf ears. They were like wolves, their faces twisted with a jealousy that had been festering for years. They tore at him, their primary target the beautiful coat. It wasn't just a piece of clothing. It was everything they hated. It was their father's favoritism, Joseph's dreams, his perceived arrogance. The vibrant threads ripped, the sound echoing the tearing of a family. They stripped it from his back, a symbolic and brutal act, leaving him exposed and vulnerable. His heart pounded in his chest, a frantic drumbeat of betrayal. He was just a boy, 17 years old, and his own flesh and blood were treating him with unimaginable cruelty. They dragged him, his feet kicking up dust, his shouts for help swallowed by the vast, empty landscape of Bilfen. He was strong, but he was outnumbered. 10 to 1. He fought, he struggled, but their resolve was like stone. They dragged him towards a dark, gaping hole in the ground, a dry cistern, a pit. The sight of it sent a new wave of panic through him. This was a nightmare. This couldn't be real. His eyes darted around, desperately searching for a friendly face, for a glimmer of compassion. He saw Reuben, the eldest. He saw Judah. "Reuben, Judah, please," he cried, tears streaming down his face, mixing with the dust. "What did I do?" It was a genuine question, a child's cry for understanding in the face of monstrous injustice. What had he done to deserve this? Was it his dreams? The ones he had so naively shared, foretelling his rise above them? Was that enough to warrant this? His brothers remained silent. Their faces were impassive, hardened against his cries. It was as if they had shut off their hearts, walled up their conscience. They reached the edge of the pit. With one final merciless shove, they threw him in. For a moment, there was nothing but air. The world turned upside down, a blur of blue sky and brown earth. Then, darkness. He landed with a heavy thud at the bottom. The impact knocked the wind out of him, his body aching. Dust filled his lungs, making him cough and choke. He was alive, but he was in a tomb. He slowly pushed himself up, his eyes adjusting to the dim light. He looked up. The opening of the cistern was a small, cruel circle of daylight, a taunting reminder of the world he had just been violently ripped from. And then he saw them. 10 dark silhouettes, blocking the light, their faces unreadable from the bottom of the pit. They were his brothers, looking down on him, their prisoner. He had brought them food and water, and this was his reward. He had come to them with love, and they had answered with hate. He watched as one by one, the silhouettes turned and walked away, disappearing from his view. The circle of light was clear again, but it offered no comfort. It only illuminated the totality of his abandonment. A desperate, primal scream tore from his throat, his voice echoing eerily in the confined space. "Please don't leave me." The words bounced off the stone walls, a hollow, pathetic plea. He was completely alone, trapped in the cold, dark earth. The silence that followed was more terrifying than their violence. It was the silence of utter abandonment. But the scene gets even colder, even more heartless. Just a short distance from the pit, from the place where their brother was crying out in terror, the 10 brothers sat down. They calmly unpacked the bread and the water that Joseph had carried all that way for them. As Joseph's cries for help likely still echoed from the well, they began to eat. They ate the food he brought. They ate while their brother starved in a hole. The casualness of the act is what is so chilling. It wasn't a crime of passion committed in a moment of rage. It was calculated. It was cold-blooded. They sat there, chewing on bread, their conversation probably turning to what to do next. For them, Joseph was no longer a brother. He was a problem to be disposed of. This meal was a celebration of their victory over him, a temporary silencing of the voice that had haunted their egos for so long. They had stripped him of his coat, thrown him in a pit, and were now consuming the very provisions he had brought as an offering of peace. The betrayal was absolute. It was complete. Imagine Joseph, listening from the bottom of that pit, hearing the faint sounds of his brothers, not in distress, not in regret, but simply live, living, moving on. The hope that must have died in his heart in that moment is almost too painful to comprehend. The knowledge that the people who should have protected him, the ones who shared his blood, were the very authors of his suffering. This was the moment Joseph's old life ended. The favored son was gone. In his place was a betrayed boy, alone in the dark, with nothing but the echoing sound of his own desperate pleas and the crushing weight of what his own family had done. This was the beginning of a long, dark journey, a trial by fire, forged in the crucible of fraternal hatred. But what they didn't know, what they couldn't possibly imagine as they finished their meal, was that this act of betrayal was not an end. It was a beginning. They thought they were burying a dream, but they were actually planting a seed. Welcome back to our series, where we're diving deep into some of the most dramatic stories ever told. Today, we're exploring a tale of jealousy, betrayal, and a plot that would change the course of history. Grab your snacks, get comfortable, and let's get into it. Imagine this, a vast, sun-scorched landscape. It's hot, dusty, and you've been out here for weeks, miles from home, tending sheep. This is the scene where we find a group of brothers. The heat is oppressive, and so is the mood. They're already on edge, simmering with resentment, when one of them, Simeon, points to the horizon. A tiny figure is approaching, a lone splash of vibrant color against the monotonous brown hills. As it gets closer, they recognize him. It's their younger brother, Joseph. "Look," Simeon says, and there's a cruel smile on his face. Here comes the dreamer. The word dreamer isn't a compliment. It's spat out, laced with sarcasm and years of bitterness. Why? Because Joseph is their father's favorite. He's the one who gets the special treatment, the fancy, colorful coat, the very coat that makes him stand out in the desert right now. And he's just the one who has had dreams that suggested he would one day rule over all of them. To his brothers, this isn't just a kid with a big imagination. It's a threat, a sign of unbearable arrogance. Levi, another brother, chimes in, his voice dripping with disdain. "Father sent him to check on us." You can just hear the air quotes around, "check on us." They don't see this as an act of brotherly concern. They see it as their father sending his favorite spy, his golden child, to report back on them. The distance, the heat, the years of feeling second best, it's all coming to a boil. This is the moment the tension finally snaps. Simeon, clenching his fists, lays out a horrifying plan. "This is our chance," he says. "Let's kill him and throw him into one of these pits." It's shocking in its brutality. He's not just talking about roughing him up. He's talking about murder. And he's already got the cover story worked out. "We'll tell Father a wild animal got him." It's a cold, calculated plot designed to solve their problem permanently. Then he adds the final, chilling line. "We'll see then what becomes of his precious dreams." This isn't just about getting rid of Joseph. It's about destroying his destiny, about proving his dreams were nothing more than fantasy. You'd think someone would object, right? But in this toxic atmosphere, the other brothers just nod along. The idea, as horrific as it sounds, takes root. They're all in, except for one, Reuben, the eldest. He steps forward, his face pale. He's clearly shaken. "No," he says, his voice trembling. "We can't ... We can't shed his blood." He knows this is a line they can never uncross. Killing their own brother is a stain that will never wash out. But the brothers turn on him, their faces hard. They're a mob now, driven by a single dark purpose. Reuben has to think fast. He can't stop them with a direct plea for morality. They're too far gone. So he offers a compromise, a loophole. "Look," he says, pointing to a dry, empty cistern nearby. "Let's just throw him in." He presents it as a clever alternative. We get rid of him, but our hands are clean. This is a brilliant, desperate move. Reuben isn't actually agreeing with them. Secretly, he's buying time. His plan is to let them throw Joseph into the pit, wait for them to leave, and then circle back later to rescue his younger brother. He's trying to save Joseph's life without putting his own in danger from his enraged siblings. He's playing a very dangerous game. The brothers consider this. The idea of not having literal blood on their hands appeals to them. It lets them maintain a twisted sort of deniability. It's Judah, another brother, who finally seals the deal. He nods slowly, processing Reuben's suggestion. "I like that," he says. "No blood. Let the dessert take him." It's a haunting decision. They were still condemning their brother to a terrible fate, a slow death from starvation or exposure, but they've created a psychological buffer. They aren't the killers. The desert is. This is how they justify the unthinkable. And so, the trap is set. As the unsuspecting Joseph gets closer, wearing his coat of many colors and likely bringing a message from their father, he has no idea he's walking into a conspiracy. He's about to face the ultimate betrayal, not from an enemy, but from his own family. The stage is set for a moment and will send ripples through generations. What do you think of Reuben's plan? Was it a stroke of genius or a cowardly half-measure? And what about Judah? His agreement is what solidifies the plot. He seems to be the more pragmatic one, but he's still agreeing to leave his brother to die. This story is so complex because it shows how easily a group of people can be swayed towards doing something terrible, each one finding their own reason to go along with it. It's a powerful and disturbing look at family dynamics and the dark side of human nature. What happens next is even more dramatic, and we'll be breaking that down in our next video. You won't want to miss it. Make sure you resubscribed and have notifications turned on so you can find out what becomes of Joseph and his dreams. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.